degree in English. Mr. Jamison is also a member of Phi Beta Sigma and Fraternity Incorporated, where he served as Vice President of Beta Rho Chapter at Tougaloo College. Mr. Jamison was raised in Coldwater, Mississippi, a small town in Mississippi about 30 miles away from Memphis, Tennessee. His home church is Second Baptist, also located in Coldwater, Mississippi, where he served under the leadership of Pastor Eric B. Gibbons. He started preaching at the age 12, traveling to numerous churches, proclaiming the word of God. Throughout being a young minister, Mr. Jamison encountered many problems growing up and often questioned if he was truly called to preach the word of God. He has appeared on Oprah Winfrey's hit series, Ring through the second season on 6 episodes, as well as BET hit series, The Quad, Bounce hit series, Saint Instances, and upcoming film Come Sunday featuring True and Tell Ojo Ford from 12 Years a Slave. These are just to name a few. All of these things manifested when Mr. Jamison stepped up to a faith movement to Atlanta in November 2016. Before she resigned from management at Fortune 500 company was only the beginning of a great adventure. After seeking God constantly in prayer, God clearly spoke and said, "Pack your bags and move." Mr. Jamison prays always, "God only give me what He wants to have and when He wants me to have it, and order my steps." Today, Mr. Jamison resides in South Haven, Mississippi. He is a fifth grade teacher and writer teacher for Shelby County Schools. He is now the member of New School Christ under the leadership of Sidney P. Malone, where he's been used as a youth pastor. I present some and introduce other, Reverend Jamison II.
To Principal Gordon, to the faculty, staff, aunts, uncles, aunties, Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To my fifth grade graduation class of 2018, great morning. Great morning. Today is the day that we celebrate each and every one of you for all of your accomplishments, okay? We celebrate you on today. And today I stand before you to give each and every one of you words of encouragement as you transition into your next phase of life. When I first made the commitment to become the grammar writing teacher last year, all I knew is that I had a purpose being a first year teacher. I really didn't know what to expect. But I realized that my purpose was to bring the untapped potential out of each and every one of you and to identify myself in you. And the reason why I was so patient with you and simultaneously so hard on you, because when I looked at you, I saw a reflection of who I once was. For instance, when I was a young boy around your age, I stayed in trouble in school. I got suspended almost every week. I never got a chance to see support, no PE, no music, no nothing. You hear me? Nothing. Mr. Jamison? Yes, that was me. But see, those things allowed me to be more relatable to you here today. It's not about how you start in life, it's always about how you finish. But one thing for sure, I never knew that God would pay me back in this particular way. I never knew it. So, one year, I remember making all F's one year. All F's in every class. Me, Mr. Jamison, made all F's one year in every single class. But the next year, I made straight honor roll. That year, I discovered something. I discovered that I could do anything if I did my very best, and most importantly, I encountered teachers that believed in me, motivated me, telling me what I can do instead of reminding me of what I can't do.
That's right.
So today, boys and girls, I stand before you to remind you of what you can do. I remember when I first stepped into the doors of Newberry, many of you came to me with your concerns about grammar writing. Many of you, Mr. Jamison, how do I start my paper? Mr. Jamison, I need more transition words. Mr. Jamison, writing is stupid, I just don't get it. But look at you now. Many of you have grown tremendously. So why don't you give yourselves a round of applause? And just like in writing and grammar and all of your subjects that you have grown in, Life sometimes can be frustrating. Sometimes it's frustrating trying to figure things out, but it's not always about how you start in life, boys and girls. I want to remind you that it's always about how you finish. Today, you finish strong. And as you transition to middle school, you may discover that at Newberry, you were only a big fish in a small pond. But now you're about to transition to middle school. You know what that means? Now you're going to be a big fish surrounded around many other big fishes. So you know what that means? That means now each and every one of you is going to work twice as hard. You're going to have to work twice as hard. But remember, it's not always about how you start. It's about how you finish. My first point is this. In order to finish strong, it's important to have the right circle around you. In order to finish strong, it's important to have the right circle around you. Say this with me, boys and girls. In order to finish strong, you have to have the right circle around you. Say it for me.
In order to finish strong, you have to have the right circle around you. Yes, sir.
Will Smith once said that you can often tell how far your life and career will go based on the 5 people you hang around the most.
Yes, sir.
Now let me rewind and press play again, okay? Will Smith once said that you can often tell how far your life and career will go based on the 5 people you hang around the most. You are an original, okay? You are not a copy. Don't try to fit in with the crowd. Let the crowd fit in with you. You were made to be outstanding, and you are different for a reason. Say this with me. I am different for a reason.
I am different for a reason.
Say it again. I am different.
I am different
for a reason.
For a reason.
And as you transition, never forget that you do not want to live with permanent potential. You do not want to live having permanent potential. I'm going to break that down for you, okay? Les Brown once said, Les Brown is one of the most influential motivation speakers of all time. And Les Brown once said that the most wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. What does that mean? Les Brown said that the most wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. He said that the graveyard is filled with so much potential. Many ideas that could change the world. Inventions that were never made. I don't know, maybe they were scared of failing. Maybe they were scared of what people may thought about them. Maybe they were just living in people bondage. Maybe they were afraid and they took all of their potential with them to their graveyard.
Yes, sir.
I say this to you while you have so much life ahead of you right now. Maybe you want to start your own YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe you want to design your own clothes. Maybe you have an idea for a new invention that could possibly change the world. I challenge you today, if you have an idea, write that idea down and strive to make your dreams a reality. You can do anything you want to do, and you can be anything you want to be, but it starts with you.
Woo!
To all of you, my second point, to all of you, never forget this, okay? Your attitude will determine your altitude.
Amen. Yes.
Say this with me. My attitude will determine my altitude in life. Many of you have untapped potential, but your attitude can hurt you as you transition. And that's the reason many of your teachers, the faculty, the staff, we have been so hard on you because we know the impact that a bad attitude can have on your life, okay? And I also say this as a parent myself now, the molding starts at home. Never get mad at a child for disappointing you in public if you never train your child properly.
Yes, sir.
Now, to all my colleagues, let's continue to build our scholars up instead of tearing them down.
Amen.
Remember that teaching is a commitment. commitment. I don't believe you just wake up one morning and say, I think I want to be a teacher this morning. See, when I signed up for this job, I instantly realized that I have an opportunity to change a child's life.
Yes, sir.
We all was once kids, so kids are going to be kids, okay?
Yes, sir.
But it's our responsibility to not only educate them, but to instill with them morals and values of our life.
Yes, sir.
We all have an opportunity to be the role model that maybe what is even present at home. Everyone is not fortunate. Children don't just act out. We just have to find the root. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. I've said my Easter speech and I'm going to sit on down, okay? So I'm going to leave you with this right here. In the book by Bruce Wilkinson called The 7 Laws of the Learner, there's a story told of a 5th grade teacher that met a young boy in her class by the name of Teddy Stallard. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Teddy was an easy kid to overlook, boys and girls, and the teacher never really gave him much attention. Are we still in the house?
Yes, sir.
But one day, Teddy brought to school with him a half-used bottle of cheap perfume. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. Teddy went on to say that the bottle of perfume belonged to his mother who had died.
Oh.
And that he liked the way it smelled, and she was the closest person to a mother that he had. Of course, this mantle that he put on her caused the teacher to pay more attention to Teddy. Consequently, Teddy moved from below basic to exceeding expectations.
Sir.
So after this encounter, he moved from the bottom of the class to the top of the class. After completing 5th grade, Teddy would later go on to do great things in his academic career, and he would often send back notes to his teacher, thanking her for the interest she took in him that caused him to graduate with honors in middle school, and honors in middle school, went on to finish college. Then finally, Teddy sent his teacher another letter. But this letter was quite different from any other letter that Teddy sent. Are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
He sent his 5th grade teacher an invitation to his wedding. He had found the love of his life, y'all. He sent his teacher an invitation to his wedding, saying that he wanted her to walk down the aisle with him in his mother's place. But something was different in his signature as he closed his letter. The letter from the little boy with the half bottle of empty perfume was named Teddy Stallard, right? Right. But the wedding invitation he sent was signed Dr. Theodore Stallard.
Woo!
This goes to show a difference that we can make when we pay attention